All right. We have a replay here. It was featured on stream between Alex B. Hodgson. There we go. There we go. Fifth time's charm. And Subhuman Being. This was on the stream. It was a good game. We are also lagging extremely badly on live. I now remember this game. Yeah, it was just in my list of things that I needed to cast later. We were lagging extremely badly on live, so I am very curious how this will look in replay format. Obviously there won't be lag, but I wonder if the micro between the players will just seem insane because it was lagging so bad that they have plenty of time. Anyway, we have for Norska 2 Marauder Horsemen of Throwing Axes, 4 Marauder Champions, all triple gold Chevron, 2 Marauder Hunter Javelins, a Shaman Sorcerer of Metal with only Searing Doom. We have Wulfric the Wanderer, a Skinwolf Werekin, and a Feral Manticore. On the other side, for the Tomb Kings, we have 2 Screaming Skull Catapults. Oof, that is doing a lot of damage. 2 Screaming Skull Catapults, 1 Ushapti Greatbow, the RR Regiment of Renown, Chosen of the Gods. Ooh, we actually have a second one, a regular Ushapti Greatbow. A Necrotect with only the Restore, and DJ Kotep on foot with his 2 cheapest spells to just keep spamming out that army-wide healing passive. Plus, we do have the Bound Skullstorm. Front line of Skeleton Warriors, maybe some Tomb Guard. Yeah, Skeleton Warriors, Tomb Guard, Nahakar Warriors, and some Skeleton Spearmen, even 1 Tomb Guard with Halberds in the back. Tomb King's doing a lot of damage on the advance. One of those extremely expensive Marauder champions is already almost deleted. Marauder Hunter with Javelin almost running, and these Marauder Horsemen have taken an absolute shellacking from the Chosen of the Gods. Manticore is hovering over the Tomb King's army right now. It is a little bit of fresh fish. Remember, this was a new player tournament, so mistakes are expected. And you can feel free to join those yourself. It is always a great time. I host them every week. And in the weeks, I switch off between EU and NA friendly times. So, yeah, if you're a new player and you want to play in some tournaments with other new players, hit us up. We would love to have you. Anyway, the Manticore gets rampaged, forcing it to act. Instead, it runs into some Spearmen while still getting shot by the Chosen of the Gods. Now, if you want some analysis, the Chosen of the Gods are better against large single entities, or usually cavalry and groups of infantry. I only say large, like Hell Pit Abominations or the Shredder of Lustria, but Manticore is not incredibly amazing. So they should instead be focusing on these triple gold Chevron Marauder champions. The normal Ushaptis are great at sniping out single targets like the Manticore and stuff. And now they're all shooting at this little foot Norskin Shaman, which is not going to do a lot of damage to him. So, some less than optimal Ushapti targeting so far. For Norska, their Skirmish Cav have just been sitting nearby and firing at Skeleton Spearmen, so I'm not trying to just shit on one player. I was just pointing out, if they are watching this video back, that could be a piece of advice for them. And for the Norska player, Skirmish Cav probably needs to be shooting at the Screaming Skull Catapults, or just going into melee? Like running up through here and just going into melee with the catapults and knocking them offline. Little things to think about. Ushapti Summon is already out for the Tomb Kings, trying to get a little bit more melee DPS. And how are our Marauder champions doing? Both Marauder Hunters are pushed off by the Screaming Skull Catapults, who are putting in a ton of work. And the Marauder champions, all 4 of them are still in the fight. 2 are at half HP, 1 is almost dead, and 1 is full hit points. Skinwolf Werekin is continuing to fight, and Wulfric is running around doing his damnedest. Tomb King's front line is holding for now, though it is kind of running out of gusto. And the Ushapti Greatbows are pushing off those Skirmish Cav once more. Screaming Skull Catapults keeping those Javelin Throwers at bay. Ooh, this could be bad. Necrotect is caught out by Hunter of Champions, giving him 0 melee defense, 25 armor, and 17 speed. He'll need to fall back to these Spearmen, which it looks like he is. Manticore is back from its little brief route, and he is now trying to fly back into the battle. Looks like he's going to go disrupt some Ushapti, who are turning to face him. Chosen the Gods trying to fire at Wulfric. I think that spread shot will not do them very much good, as it is going to start hurting their own troops a little bit. So all 4 of the ranged units for Norska are being perpetually pushed off, and they're honestly going to start shattering very soon, as the Screaming Skull Catapults do a lot of damage to them. A nasty Seafang goes through the Skeleton Spearmen, but I think we're about to start seeing some real damage here, as the backs of these Marauder champions, who are all clustered up, are presented to the Screaming Skull Catapults. Big damage in from these shots. A little bit of friendly fire, but the Skeleton Spearmen will happily give their lives for that cause. Wulfric is taken down to about half HP, and DJ Kotep is dead as he runs straight into Marauder champions. Then he overcasts Joff's Incantation of Cursed Blades onto himself, dealing more damage. He gets sniped out by the Marauder champions, and a really big whoopsie there from the Tomb Kings, losing their Lord and Caster just by sprinting into some Marauder champions. Whoops. As for Norska, trying to get some of their ranged aspects back online. Not going particularly great for them. The Manticore is now surrounded by Tomb Guard with Halberd, so it will probably be knocked out, and Wulfric is taking big damage from the basic Ushabti Grapo that is firing upon him as he tries to climb this hill. He's solo in leadership, but he does manage to rally for now. He's charging up here. Also in the background, low-key, the Shaman Sorcerer Mental has been getting a ton of really great Searing Dooms off. All 4 of those ranged units shattered at the same time. You can see their green little outlines running away. So that is a group rout of the worst kind. Wulfric is chilling at 1 leadership while fighting these Screaming Skull catapults. And the catapults are trying to punish the Marauder champions as they come walking up this hill. Nekhar warriors holding to the last against those Marauder champions. Looks like one of the Marauder champions is dead. No, it's up here. Okay, all 4? No. I think 1 is dead. 1's missing. Because I only see 3 right now. Another Searing Doom, just tickling these Tomb Guard with Halberds a little bit. Looks like the 1 Screaming Skull catapult is shut down. These other Tomb Guard are about to go away. A nasty Sea Fang cuts about a third of the HP off the Tomb Guard with Halberds. And it's getting a little rough here for the Tomb Kings. They're still up in the balance of power, but I don't know. I'm feeling less good about it. Screaming Skull catapult still trying to punch these Marauder champions in the distance. And at close range, the Ushabti Grapos are trying to shoot at Wulfric, but they can't quite see him. They're lining up their shots now. Let's watch his HP. 978. Nothing's hit him so far. A little bit of a tickling. Then he gets into the next catapult without much issue. Tomb Guard with Halberds taking another nasty Searing Doom. This Shaman Sorcerer of Metal is doing great work. And the Marauder champion stuck fighting the Necrotect in these Tomb Guard, but we saw what happened to Ka-Tip in that similar situation, so he's got to be careful. You can't let those Marauder champions just work him down. Also, the Marauder champions have got to be fully stacked on that stuff by now. Yeah, they're fully stacked on Rage. So they have better leadership, 10% physical resistance, and melee attack. The basic Ushabti are trying to fight the Skinwolf Werekin, as are the Chosen of the Gods. Looks like they're actually just trying to shoot him or something. I don't really know. These other ones need to back off and just focus on Wulfric. They do need to take him down. All 3 of the Marauder champions left very low. Norska takes the lead on balance power, and the Ushabti do back off. They now start to draw a bead on Wulfric. It doesn't say obstructed, so they can allegedly see him. Let's see if they get a real shot in. Nope, they're obstructed now by nothing. Now? What about now? Yeah, not obstructed anymore. They take half of his remaining health off, from 800 to 479. They're going to continue shooting at him as he runs. Meanwhile, Marauder Champion has broken, and the Necrotect... Oh, the Necrotect got 100 of Champions, so he's having a real bad time. But he should be able to beat a Shaman Sorcerer. Should. Wulfric's getting run off. Chosen of the Gods still fighting on Skinwolf Werekin and not having a good time. Shaman Sorcerer is getting down. Another Searing Doom. And the Necrotect leaves the Shaman Sorcerer, which he has a bonus versus infantry in 45-30 for melee stats versus 35-30. And he charges downhill into the Marauder Champions. This is a double mistake because the Marauder Champions are downhill from this catapult, so they can't even punish the way they're blobbing up in this Necrotect. And they're eating him alive, and the Shaman Sorcerer got away. That is a huge mistake from the Tomb Kings, and the balance of power goes dangerously against them. But the catapult does manage to rout 2 Norscan Marauder champions who are coming up. And Spearmen are surrounding the Skinwolf Werekin, whose leadership is dipping danger low. The Necrotect is officially gone, though, and this last Marauder champions is moving up. As a catapult shot goes over their heads, the second one hits, and the leadership debuff it implies is going to get them to go. But that big Searing Doom killing a lot of Spearmen. As we are down to the 2 single entities, now the catapults should be able to chain route off anybody who tries to come back, but we will see as the Chosen of the Gods and the Skeleton Spearmen are starting to crumble away, and the regular Ushabti also get involved in the fight. 1 Screaming Skull goes down the hill and smokes these Marauder champions who are now routing. Balance of power favors Norska, but I'm starting to favor the Tomb Kings here a lot, because if that Skinwolf breaks, then you have just a Shaman Sorcerer at 1/3 HP in melee with a bunch of Ushabti. And even though they're not the melee variant, they still have 2465 for melee stats, which ain't bad. Another huge Searing Doom, though. That Shaman still being alive is a big, big problem for the Tomb Kings. All 3 Marauder champions are still being kept routing by the Screaming Skull catapult. The Ushabti are trying to line up a shot. They get a couple off onto the Skinwolf. And now the catapult turned its sights very briefly onto the Shaman, trying to hit him in the back of the head, but it refocuses back onto the Marauder champions. Skinwolf Werekin -3 leadership for quite a while, and he does rout. Oh, that is brutal. Balance of power still is quite in the favor of Norska, but one of those Marauder champions is going to start shattering. And the Skin Wolf is starting to run away. Shaman Sorcerer, can you hold? Balance of power is starting to creep back towards the middle, and the Scream Skull Catapult is now firing towards an already shattered unit. It does need to retarget onto something else. Don't know what it will do just yet. Ushaptis are trying to hit the Shaman Sorcerer, but he throws down a Searing Doom to dissuade them, and they are going to try and dodge it, running away. Still take roughly about 300 damage from that spell, and the Skin Wolf Werekin is back. He's been regenerating this whole time. Balance power goes significantly against the Tomb Kings once again. Ushapti Great Bows throw guard mode on, and they're going to fire at him down this hill. And they're doing big damage, down to 1 leadership, -4, and he routs again. So if he routs one more time, he will shatter. And the Screaming Skull Catapult's going to start firing at him, try and keep him running away. As the Ushapti, for now, they just ignore the Shaman. Marauder champions are rallying in the backfield, trying to get away from that Screaming Skull Catapult so it stops hurting their little bodies. And the Shaman battles his way through it. Skinwolf Werekin is back. Now this is his last life. If he routs yet again, if he routs any more times, he will have, he will shatter. Ushapti Great Bow are surrounding the Shaman Sorcerer, but they're having a really hard time damaging him. They're just foot character problems, I suppose. Screaming Skull Catapult had to reform lines for some reason. It's not really a player fault thing. It's just like he clicked on this and for some reason they decided to move around. Ushapti gonna have to try and dodge another Searing Doom. 3,500-ish health. Entirely dodged that one, so good for them as they turn and try and fire onto the Skinwolf Werekin. They're lining up their shots. He's doing his best to juke. He takes about 100 HP's worth of damage, down to 7 leadership. But he's getting within range with the Screaming Skull Catapult, and he gets that charging bonus. He's up to 19 leadership, so he is not going to falter. Balance power goes significantly against the Tomb Kings, and it actually does just army lost them. Though I do wonder if the Ushapti could have finished it. I'm still shocked how poorly they did versus that Shaman Sorcerer. They just took forever to kill him. But I guess foot characters are still the tankiest goddamn thing in Warhammer. Wolfric the Wanderer, 1,500 value, 1,400 on the Skin Wolf, 1,500 on the Shaman Sorcerer. Very good stuff there. Marauder champions, one did fantastically, the one that killed Katep. The other 3 did okay. Manticore struggled, and all the range units struggled. For Subhuman Being, Katep, a little bit of a whoopsie. Got him caught out, but the Ushapti Great Bows did fantastically. Screaming Skull Catapults also did amazing work. And Ekar Warriors and Skeleton Spearmen did fine. Very GG. Roar! Subscribe, yes, yes.